to Real Clear Politics, Caitlin Huey Burns, Independent Women's Forum's Sabrina Schaefer. Sabrina, I don't know, how did this go from a go to maybe a stop and go to maybe a stop? What happened?
Well, I hope it's not a stop, Neil, but I think that we have to remember that the sort of first 100 days is really an artificial creation that came about under FDR. And it's becoming
I know, but it's not even going to be in the first 100 days. It's only going to be in the first 200 days.
But I think that's okay. I think that, what we're seeing here, that a lot of presidents see, is that being on the campaign trail is very different than actually governing. And for this president in particular, who sort of presented himself as a disruptor and sort of looked down his nose at the political elite and the establishment, he's realizing that it does take some political capital to get things done here. Otherwise, you're sort of a bull in a china shop, and you're going to be left with a lot of broken pieces. So I think that the lesson here is that it's not necessarily a bad thing to slow down and get things right, because I think a lot of good, especially on domestic policy, could come from this administration if it's done correctly.
I have no doubt about that. But, Caitlin, my big fear right now seems to be that time is slipping away. I mean, if this gets to be a fall event, forget about tax cuts being retroactive. We'll be lucky to see them happen in the following year. I don't want to poo-poo that. I would love to be wrong on this, but I don't think it would be a 2018 phenomenon either.
Yeah,
and that worries me.
I think you're right, Neil, and maybe I've just spent too much time in the hallways of the Capitol staking out lawmakers, but I always thought that tax reform would be pretty ambitious for this type of Congress, even with Republican control, just given the divisions. But you make a great point about 2018. I mean, we just have a couple of months until lawmakers go on August recess, and remember, that's a time where they hear a lot from constituents. It's really hard to get things done, and then really, you're starting to get into campaign season already, which makes it really difficult. And that's why Republican leaders had wanted to get health care and taxes, not only because of the process and the reconciliation and the way to get these bills done, but also get some big wins on the board to be able to go back to constituents and say, look, we did this. And the other thing, though, is that there are significant divisions among Republicans when it comes to what kind of tax reform they want to see. And also, we're hearing from Democrats that they're really not going to get on board with anything. They're asking now for the Trump administration to release President Trump's tax returns, or else they're not going to get in on any legislation.
Well,
so you have the politics
he could release
going on
returns
here.
Dating back to when he was a teenager, and that wouldn't change. But Sabrina, what I worry about in this environment, I don't want to poo-poo it. I want to stress that I'd love to see the tax cuts materialize, but I think the problem might be maybe in the administration itself that there are so few rabid supply-siders. I think one of my next guests, Linda McMahon, might be in that camp for big tax cuts and all, but those drafting all of this are not necessarily keen on comprehensive tax reform. I mean, that's my fear. I'd like to be wrong, but what do you think of that?
Well, no, I think that there are a few good people. I mean, one of my board members, Larry Kudlow, is there advising the president. I think that's important. But I do think that sort of more importantly is sort of how he talks about these issues to the public. If you actually look at what the public's concerned about, they're concerned with corporate tax rates. That's something they don't think that corporations are paying their fair share. Oddly enough, they're not that bothered by what they're paying themselves, although many of us are paying a tremendous amount, and you don't have to be wealthy to be paying a lot. And so I think that there's a lot of messaging work that has to come from the White House to sort of remind people, it's not just, are you paying your fair share, but do you want your money, are your hard-earned dollars better off going into your savings and investing in your family, or into one of the tens of thousands of failing government programs? And when it's presented that way, I think Americans may feel very different.
Sabrina, though, as I mentioned, the Dow down about 150 points. I think the markets had built a lot of the run-up since Donald Trump's election on the idea that we were going to see sweeping tax reform, if not sweeping tax cuts. What if we don't get either, at least this year? I know, not asking you to be a market soothsayer here, but the sense that the market could unwind the very gains it's had.
Well, look, I mean, I love the idea of comprehensive tax reform, but I'm also living here in Washington, and I've never thought that that was necessarily going to happen. I think if we got some piecemeal tax reform, that would be a huge step in the right direction.
Caitlin, what do you think of that?
I absolutely agree, and I think if you do smaller bills, I thought this on healthcare and other issues, if you kind of do smaller break off things, you can also get some buy-in from the other side as well. People do want to have successes here, but I think Sabrina brings up a great point about messaging. Healthcare is a little bit easier to message on. Taxes are a little more difficult. They don't really fit neatly on a bumper sticker. And Trump as a marketer, I think that will come into play here. We just passed tax day, of course. People are feeling it. But I do think messaging is a huge part of this.
I had a bumper sticker, actually, cut or die. But
many
people have told me that's not really a good bumper sticker. Ladies, thank you both very, very much.